far they can pitch themselves on the field against Sprout. It's our first match of the day. Overpass. Predictions, scorelines, Swag, what are you thinking?
I'm going to be surprised if there's double digits coming through from Sprout. I'm going heroic all the way in this best of one.
Yeah, I'm 100% the same. Pistol round to go live. Sprout will be on the CT side. Start as you would expect. Heroic in with the pistols. The utility on Tesses. And util spread across Rolls and Spiddy here on the Sprout side. Not quite a lot of kits in play, though. Retakes might be difficult, especially if Stairs challenge first.
Just a spotter setup, get aggressive up towards the top of party, look down into Ticon. They haven't over-rotated anyone off of this B site as of yet, and for Sprout, it means that they can maintain a 4-man stack advantage over towards the B side, and for Heroic, they're going to have to really rely on their entries if they do run into this stack play.
And outside of that contact in the bathroom, Stair has seen nothing, so Sprout have made the right call, and they are standing ready to receive. The smoke from Tesses yet to be thrown. They might just dry walk it initially. He is there ready to put it out towards heaven. Spiddy watching in from the toxic barrels. Slack's there towards covering the short control. The taps onto the USPs will spot them. Cadian swinging is going to get spotted the next, so now they're aware of the split play, but Spiddy gets gooshed out to 12 HP.
Very silent, and now Sprout are wondering, are we falling for a loop? It's going to be another pump out towards this monster position, but Heroic have got plenty of time to work with, and now they actually start a mid-round call and start moving away from this B side.
It's time for the new addition to step up. Yabby's making a lot of noise out here towards Monster, trying to challenge Spiddy. He knows that he must have been goosed and he must have been tagged here. See the blood splatter on the back wall. The smoke's in from his teammates to try to protect him. Spiddy will hold his nerve as Stair watches, jump facing, ready for the contact.
Stair's the highest rated player for this Sprout side on Overpass. Very good opportunity for him to stand tall up towards the A site defensive. Got to be careful about over-peaking, especially when the time is limited. Has to try and deny the bomb from going down.
Under 20 seconds, execution will come through. The USP taps on, but gets nothing. Cadian removes Stair from play. Rolls quickly up to position, and Tesses is so far forward, extending to the back entrance. Rolls didn't stand a chance for a moment. Slack's next responder, one of 3 players remaining for Sprout, trying to challenge, but overwhelmed the same by Tesses' double. Lornix next to feed himself towards the man, give himself the triple. Finally Spiddy with one decent trade, but being the last man left alive on 12 HP, he doesn't stand a chance in the retake. It's a pistol for Heroic.
It's an excellent call to actually start shifting away from that B site up towards T-spawn, start getting more map control towards A, and then you just saw, as soon as Stair fell, being that initial A site defender, it opens up so much room. You've got Tessus getting quite aggressive towards a bank control, and while there are quite a lot of young players, Jay, that normally we say, oh yeah, keep an eye out for Stair, keep an eye out for Lornix, I'm actually looking at Spiddy in this matchup, because he's got to be the guy with the most experience out of anyone on this team of Sprout.
There's one player you'd look at in the context of IEM Cologne, definitely him. You don't come to this event and do well by virtue of skill alone. There has to be something a little bit extra, and Sprout will try and prove that, as will Heroic. Cadian lines up to anti-eco frags, anti-half, forced by frags, coming in for the AK, pretty easy and such. Of course, the force invest for Sprout has not gone well for them. The Scout and Deagle still set into the site and back site, trying to fight onto the Abbey, but ultimately so far so unsuccessful for them.
For Sprout, you got to start making a decision whether you even gamble stack continuous over towards the B play, because now you're hearing connector door being opened up. Sjuush is starting a slow walk, taking more map control away from the bathrooms. And even if there is a rotate, they might just get caught out into the open.
Well, eyes on, watching out the contact. Smokes in from the T side line. But not to commit in whole here. They fall away as Heroic make their way up to the site itself. It feels like Sprout want to hold on to their weapons and Kevlar. Seems like the most obvious thing to do, I think, given the circumstances. Losing those 2 picks immediately on that B site. No real man advantage, no HP advantage above the T side line, no weapon advantage, obviously. So no steal, it seems, for the CT side.
And knowing that Yabby hasn't played a game for Heroic so far, we have to look a little bit deeper into some of the results of when he was on Copenhagen Flames, Jay. And funny enough, in the last 3 months, the 3rd highest played map in the pool is Overpass. So him slotting from a team that played Overpass quite a lot, now going into a best of 1 with Heroic, knowing it's their best map, surely that's got to be a positive feeling going into the start.
Bit of a Danish classic, if you will. Many squads over the course of history loving this map of Overpass. Starting working well for Heroic in the early game, 2 rounds in a row. Sjuush is hunting with a Mac 10 as well. No casualties taken by Heroic, so no reason to invest in the follow-up gun round. And the SMG could do a mountain of work here against the Sprout side.
Again, to draw back into the best of threes, 5-map winning streak coming through for the Heroic side. All of those games coming through in the Pinnacle Cup Championship. And 4 of those games all had Overpass being picked. 16-13 versus Fnatic, 16-8 against Finest, 16-10 against Big, and a 16-11 versus Astralis in the grand finals of that event.
All sorts of success. I'm going to go to a much bigger, higher caliber land and try to do some work with it. The SMGs forcing forward on Spiddy and Lordix, trying to see if they can get involved here towards a short control, but already put down by the opening killer, Cadian. The Monster Walker's already come through. Cadian finds Stare as well. Lordix caught off next by the AKS down. Mac 10 does find his kill on rolls for a little bit extra cash, but nothing major here.
Slack's just trying to do his best to peer out for a single kill. Any opportunity would be great. That bomb plant going down, and so far we haven't seen Sprout really in a position where they can test Heroic. Knowing the fact that the Danes are up to a 3-0 start, Sprout are going to have to start looking at that next round to get the rifles forward to see if they can start responding in a more positive attitude.
Here come the M4s across the CT board. The AWP also in for Slacks in this early part of the game. No need for Heroic to buy that down as of right now. Quick swing and looking easy here for Cadian on that short control, really opening up the round here for the Heroic camp. And again, so far, so good. Pretty flawless for them in the early part of the matchup. But now comes the real resistance, like you mentioned here, for the Sprout side. Chance to clap back and get involved in this game. The kits are in on Spiddy. Is the only individual utility limited as you would expect. Down into Connector is where one of those rifles will challenge on Stare.
You can already see this early util was making it a lot more difficult for the AWP to get into a good position. Stare does fight to the top of party, but the factor is, how does he get out of Connector alive?
Sandwich between 2 T-side players. The smoke down at least keeps sjuush away. Stan's the big problem is Yabby swinging forward to the AK. Not quite landing the double he wants here. Does get that one frag, and sjuush can get the trade back in con. So a 3-on-3 situation has been gained here by Heroic.
I am liking these aggressive approaches from Sprout. You've got a Stare very far forward into towards Connector. You've got the AWP hanging around Divider. Then there's a slight walk press out towards the short sandbags. And it shows for Sprout, they do like to be quite proactive on the CT side. Get up close and personal.
Right in the face of Heroic. Leaving them down by a player. The AWP of Slacks finding the pick after their transgressions in Connector. Now hold the A site on solo. His 2 teammates in heaven and on the site itself be waiting and watching. But not quite receiving. 40 seconds. Heroic will start to make their move.
Sprout don't really have the util to slow down any sort of XE. They've only got flashes to work with, so it comes down to how strong the crossfires are towards the bomb site itself. Even Spiddy gets flashed in towards Monster. He sees nothing.
You does see the gun barrel of sjuush, though. A quick shot off against him, and now that might draw rotations away. As Stare falls, especially to a 2-on-2. Spiddy forced to trade on Cadian, and sjuush will drop the bomb at long last, giving the first round to Sprout.
And that's exactly what we're going to see from Spiddy as well. Multi-fragging, not over-peaking, allowing himself to be that crutch at the B site that makes it difficult for Heroic to break it open. And he just felt there with so much aggression across the map, maintaining that man advantage and playing the 3v2 onwards really gave a lot of success. Even Rouse is in a position where the economy's not exactly flourish. He's going to have to be down on an MP9. And remember, Heroic took that as a bonus round in the last.
Can buy up in full for it. No need to upgrade the SMG on sjuush, and he's still got quite a bit of value out of it. So currently he's among the high rollers in the economy game. $2,800 left in the bank for him. Still doesn't lead towards a definitive buy, however. A lot to think about as a result. The rifles set in. AWP just bearing down from their regular positions on both sides of the coin. Particularly for Slacks here on the long control. Not seeing anything from Heroic yet. It did feel like Cadian was going to challenge him, but opted against it.
Both teams participated in Cologne last year. Only a core of 2 of Sprout is left in the party of both Spiddy and for Slacks. Over for Heroic, core 4, Stown, Cadian, Tessas, and sjuush. So a lot more accountability when it comes to lineup success in full for Heroic. And knowing that they came through in the group stage last year, Jay, they were kind of trying to prove themselves that going into the play-ins wasn't what they wanted, and they want a swift exit out of it.
Yeah, again, they were only a few points behind the cut-off point to make it into the group stage itself. Number 7 on the Pro Tour, the European division, so a lot of work to be done. Show exactly what they wanted to get to in this tournament. 30 seconds, and the hit looks to come through from the Heroic side. Yabby killing off Spiddy. Down 5 to TK. That's not all that great. That stalls the monster execution as a result. Rotating back in towards short and grabbing rolls. Casual stare watching in from the mid control and Nornix up on short. Can't stabilize a shot to save his life. So now it's left to Slacks and Stare on their respective positions. The M4 could catch off a rotate, but the AWP has all the work to do on the B site defense. Watching out for contact, seeing nothing at all. Naded down. 5 seconds. Bomb cannot be denied. Slacks gets denied instead. And so is it around here for Sprout.
That is an absolute masterclass of a default coming through from Heroic. Just see how many repositions there are for Sprout. They don't know if it's going to be A or B. They have such a lack of information on that because there's a long lurk coming through from Tessus. You've got sjuush playing up towards the top of connector. The time is really low. And for Sprout, they're just trying to search for information. They're moving around. And it meant for Heroic, they cut so many of those rotates off, make it so difficult. And even down to the site, Slacks is low HP. He's playing by himself. He's trying to make as much happen, but cannot deny the bomb. A 4th round being gained by Heroic. Stare eventually loses the rifle, and that is just a very good round coming through from the Danes, running the clock to absolute perfection. And for Sprout, it probably shows they need to be a little bit more proactive like they were in the round that they won, Jay. A little bit more aggressive, try and take more map control away.
I have to agree. Playing Possum on the site is only going to lead to Heroic's game plan. They know how to play this overpass, so you can expect the T side to be capable and consistent. So far, so good for them. Tactical taken by Sprout. I think it's the right time to call it in, but it won't lead to a buy here.
And we know that this year, Sprout have struggled in best of ones. Their only 6 wins have been against majority Tier 2 competition. Blue Jays, Unique, EC, Brugge, Anonymo, AGO, and a Tier 1 result only very recently in Valencia against Furia. But then when we look at their losses, Jay, against Tier 1 teams, FaZe, Big, Mouse, you could even throw Outsiders into there. 8 wins and 6, or I should say 6 wins and 8 losses this year so far for Sprout in best of ones. And normally when they face up against the Tier 1 competition, that's where the struggles seem to be a little bit more so.
You're not quite having that upset factor that a lot of other Tier 2 teams do in the best of 1 scenarios. Sprout work with the Eagles here on the deco round, particularly for Slacks and Stare into that long control. Will get overwhelmed by Stown in that 1-for-1 trade. Stare also legged by the AWP through the tree. Yeah, he can't be watching for any overextension. He's on 26 points of health to defend the A site on his lonesome. His teammates are stacked towards the B play, and they'll swing. They'll get killed off on Stown's part, so Stare's holding his own for the time being, but now backup has arrived, and he will fall.
Gabby's just been positioned in this short water take for so long in the round, hoping that some of the B-side players over-aggress and get in towards water, and that's where he can cut them off. Very good effort coming through from Stare, knowing in a position where you're playing out to the tree angle, you know you can't fall back, well, you might as well keep fighting, give yourself the best chance possible.
That long presence has managed to buy a 3-on-3 situation, so given the state of the pistol round that we have, it doesn't really have anything that you can criticize, I guess. Heroic still stand against the Eagles, a couple in on the P250s. Lawnix is the Eagle stands on the B site with Spiddy. There to support over at the sandbags, finding Yabby. The MAC-10 will drop, and just like that, the advantage is gained by the CT forces. sjuush known, Deagle firing, Spiddy also seen. Lawnix gives up his head, gives up his life, so does Spiddy in the end, and Heroic take back control.
Just when you saw a glimpse, you thought the Sprout were going to be able to muster up that crossfire. And knowing that Cadian was a little bit more back passive, getting the util set up, it came down to sjuush to make the damage happen, to allow that crossfire to get set out into the open, isolate a couple of individual duels. And for Rouse, the best that he can do is try and recover a rifle, try and see if he can get himself into an exit setup. And for an eco, this is looking very promising.
3 casualties already. If you can find those guns, that'd be nice. But I think they've thrown over the wall over at long, especially. Instead, waiting for exits outside of Monster. I think Heroic might have heard him, and they've got an inkling that it might end up being the best case to save back over in the jungle control. So Rawls will just sit pretty with his weapon in hand, with nothing he can do to get these picks back. A 5th to the board of the Heroic side. But all in all, like you mentioned, Dwayne, they could be happy. They did quite an amount of damage to the T-side line.
And this is where I'm wondering to myself, where's Lawnix? We know that he's a very capable player for this Sprout side. One of the youngest players in server for that fact. 17 years old, coming most recently in May over from the Nexus side of things. And he was their best performer at ESL Challenger Valencia, was towards the higher end of the entire team, one of their best fraggers. It's his 3rd international LAN, all of which he's attended with Sprout so far, none in previous teams.
His own history arc has been quite interesting as well. I think a lot of people wanted to see him leave the local scene. Try and go international, certainly having his breakout chance right here and now. And I guess Sprout are in a similar boat to Heroic in the sense that they've just bedding in a new player in the last couple of months or so, but nothing quite as recent as Heroic scenario. Regardless, looking towards him as one of their main elements. Tactical was just taken by the T-side line. Opting not to take any more damage from here on out. Of course, they have their weapons, the AWPs, the AKs as standard. The rifles also back in for the Sprout side. That's what that previous eco was all about. Now to springboard that damage into a round and potentially a economical deficit here for the Heroic side.
We know that for Sprout, they have a round win percentage of 65 on Overpass in the last 3 months. They'll definitely have to get a bit of a hurdle going. Nade stack out towards a boost position for the T's.
Lornix just saw it all coming and he couldn't do anything to avoid it. Even Rolls tanked a lot of damage as sjuush finds Stare out towards connector control. A 5-on-3 is gained immediately by the T side.
Jeez, this is rough. This is Heroic on top form, and it might just go back to that conversation, Jay, of how did you manage Overpass in a best-of-1 veto against a team like Heroic. Spiddy caught on the contact, taking a lot of damage, can't find anything on the side defensive, and even Slacks has that opportunity of catching off one, not to be. Rao's just trying to hold B by himself.
One overextension from Yabi at least gives up something back to the CT side. Rolls ends up with a triple. SS falls to Slacks, and in the blink of an eye, Heroic have lost control of this. Bomb dropped out towards us, smokes down towards Graffiti. sjuush trying to recover an extra weapon, but where are those AKs? They're nowhere to be seen.
This has really come out of favor, and now for sjuush, he can turn it into the 1v1 and has the information that Slacks was quite aggressive towards Long earlier into the round.
AWP battle here between both C and CT sides. AK switched out to sjuush as he grabs that bomb and starts to lean into Slacks. This is exactly what the CT player wants, but the headshot comes back for sjuush, who makes it a triple in this round and saves it for Heroic. But for a moment there, Sprout, it looked like they were going to steal one back from the T side.
Just mixed emotions in a round like that. You've got the idea of just being absolutely slammed. You're down in a 2v5, your Long player misses a shot with the AWP, you think, okay, the round's done, Rouse is by himself. He ends up finding 3 on the bomb site, and for a moment, like you said, Jay, you feel as if it's on. There could be a recovery in the play, and then the clutch comes forward for Heroic. Just when there was a chance for something to come through, it doesn't happen. They go for a hero rifle onto Rouse into round 8. They want to try and target the T-side economy as much as possible.
And pistols in outside of Rolls here, though. Target economy is only going to be so good when you can turn that into a reset and get it into a conversion, an eco round. Yet to truly see that from Sprout. They've stolen 1 so far here on the CT side of things. That M4 of Rolls will try to hold himself out towards short control, but the reads are so good from the T's. Now the boost up to allow the M4 to look into connector as the T's escape it. sjuush might get up the Ghost on 1 decent frag, but that's the opening. Needs to be a follow-up.
And now with the gamble stacked towards A, it's onto the Deagles to slow it down, to find some more picks. The shadow advantage for Stare, but gets caught repositioning for a moment.
Swings back, catches Starn in the cranium. TSS also falls to Slacks, and finally, it looks like Sprout might get their second. A 5-on-2 with rifles that can get recovered so easily for the CT side here. Yabi will try act out towards the B side, get the headshot on Rolls, reading that boost, and bringing back 1.
Still very doable here for Heroic to bring it back. Cadian's expecting a rotate to come into connector. Spiddy is playing to the top of that, and he's being heard to wrap back in towards T-Con.
Cadian knows what to do here, knowing that the backstab's inbound, so there has to be an A-walk coming in from him. Putting the smokes down to continue to sell it is Yabi. Will try and make some noise, try and look for further CT picks. Spiddy will start to move in towards Monster. Best bet, however, is for Cadian to get this bomb down. Yabi to close in the backstab, continue to make noise. So there's a free bomb plant and a kill towards 1 more CT. Slowly but surely, Heroic are working their way into this as the bomb gets planted.
Cadian's got to find a picking quickly. The frags are going to get presented.
Oh, there's the shot. Tech9 pulled out Stare with a trade. Now it's all on Yabi. Open at the front of Dice on the defuse. Slacks is already going for it. We'll tap it. Only 1 strike. Force Yabi out. Focus on the kills against Stare. They've isolated each individual fight. The AWP not firing as Yabi gets his quadra. And Heroic, just when you thought they were out of this round, continue to fight back. And Sprout just cannot finish the job.
You've got to imagine mentally Sprout are just gone at this point. This is 2 rounds in a row, Jay, that are so winnable. The 2v1 and now what is a 5v2 advantage. You can't be letting rounds slip like that. And I'd love to see a tactical right here from Sprout. Just mentally have a breather, because that should never be possible. Just working both the young man of Jabby and, of course, Cadian to somehow recover that.
If I was Barry, I'd be calling in that tactical, but at the moment we lost the round. Another massive advantage for Sprout. A 5-on-2. Yes, it was against pistols, but a 5-on-2. And Heroic did everything they could to fight back out of it. Guns are in for this round. The double orb set up for Lawnix and Slacks. A 5-on-4 has been found early on with Lawnix's pick onto Cadian.
Re-smoke down towards Monster means that there's no further prod that Yabby can try and get out of that one. Spinny just spamming back, and a little bit more map control being taken to the short sandbags. Often see Sprout running double AWP setups when things are getting slightly uncomfortable, and for Lawnix, that's the first kill of the map. That's at least got to be a good feeling to start off.
Noise being made by Lawnix picking up the ghost, but he is out towards Pillar. Flashes in with the Molotov sent down. Yabby wins the fight against Spitty. And the shots from the Romanian not connecting. Overwhelmed by Yabby in the end. A 2K. Sight gained. Nothing that Slacks and Stair can do.
And I think this often shows, Jay, the disparity between top-end Tier 1 teams and even, I would say, middle-of-the-pack Tier 2 teams. I mean, for a Sprout side, they're probably not in that conversation as the beasts of Tier 2, the ones that we always look at that are going to go very deep in these sort of events. And while they are still a young squad that are trying to get some LAN experience, they are having a very tough time right here against Heroic.
And the Sprout organization have always been characterized as one that bounces back after losing a significant number of players. And certainly I do feel that they're in the dip before the bounce back at the moment. I have faith that in the long term it might work out, but here and now you bang on the money. The difference in skill, the difference in coordination, and in the tenure, really. Like, even that 2v5 scenario, a perfect example of what veterancy, what experience can do for a team. Heroic swinging for the hunt, trying to take that AWP and the M4 out of the hands of the CT players, ideally. Won't be able to do so, not like it matters. 8-1 is the scoreline. They have the T-side half.
And I think there was a lot of hype around Sprout going into conference as being one of the favorite teams to make it through, and I would say they had one of the most disappointing runs out of any team in that competition. Going down to Hummer in the upper bracket round of 16, going down to For the win after having a 16-1 on the Portuguese map pick and then bottling the series. Overall, they had a slight bounce back in ESL Challenger Valencia, beating Furia in a best-of-1, going down to Outsiders in that winners matchup, and then beating a Double O Nation, a new Brazilian team of that core from Godsent, moving over in a 2-0 fashion, but then having a very rough series against Movistar Riders in that first playoff game in the semi-finals. So just trying to see if they can muster something up again. When we think back to their opening best-of-1 in last year's Cologne, Jay, they got 8 rounds against Big in what was a German derby back then. Just trying to see if they can find some more success. And knowing that the buy they've got in front of them, you can't imagine a massive amount in this round.
Definitely no success here. AWP and M4 might be able to find some picks. Remember that the Eagles might catch a headshot here and there, but Lawnix's one has already fallen. Spitty doesn't know where to look here with the 5-7. We'll catch off Tess as he aggresses. With sjuush will get that instant trade back. So 4-on-3 scenario for Heroic. The bomb will go down.
Just about getting exit frags now. Probably trying to keep the AWP and M4 in play as much as possible. But for rounds, you might as well have an opportunity to see if anything presents itself. And keep in mind, Jay, for Heroic, last 3 months, 7 wins, 1 loss on Overpass. And they have a T-side round win percentage of 47.8. So typically speaking, we maybe see 7, 8 rounds roughly. They're 9-1 and probably looking to go quite further in this first half.
Honestly, a lot further is where I'd put it at. Given the confidence we've seen from Heroic versus Sprout, who really haven't looked in this game at all so far. Top fragger of Spitty, only getting 6 kills so far in this matchup. I don't know where to go, honestly, for Sprout. They've got a lot to handle. They've got a lot of things to think about and a lot of angles in which they have to fight against the Heroic side. It is not going to be an easy affair.
Even the double AWPs haven't presented much, have they? We've seen Lawnix double AWPing over towards that B site, playing Monster and around Pillar, but he's been punished a couple of times for some overpeaks. And for Heroic, it's been very comfortable as of so far. I mean, you even look at someone like sjuush, 14 kills, 3 deaths, hasn't been punished at all. Even Slack's catching a slight peek towards T-Con, but it's even a little bit more aggression with the util towards B.
Lawnix is leaning into the short control. Be watching out for any B presence from the Heroic side. They have gone here quite a lot, as you mentioned. Not in this round, though. The bomb is left outside of T-Con. Teams are walking into connector control. They've got that one man already extending out towards the park position in Tesses. It's prod for the position. Tries to think he can force out a kill against Sprout or vice versa.
It's so defensive. And it makes you wonder, Jay, why aren't we having more aggression? The one round that Sprout won, they were pressing towards connector. They were getting out to short water. They were going all the way to the front of bathrooms. It has been so deep in the bomb sites for the last, what, 5, 6 rounds or so now?
Been a one-sided game. Nice nades. Again, the stack out to Spitty, reading his position so well here at Toxic. Second nade stack that's been put out by Heroic, both of which have landed damage. Now Slacks' AWP set to contact here in mid.
Good util usage, put the smoke down to divider, incendiary towards the bathrooms. The issue is it's still a lack of information. They haven't seen the bomb, they haven't seen a player, so it means that there's a 4-man stack out towards a B site, and the best that Slacks could do is just jump spot.
In with the AWP, get flashed off at the perfect timing, just as he peeked. Heroic had him marked. Now the AWP will lean forward as he gets blinded again. Stare, back sight, one good kill for a trade, finds sjuush in a 4-on-4, gives some time for Sprout to rotate.
Get that bomb down, expecting Spitty to over-peak to get through that dumpster position. And for Sprout, they've got to set themselves up for the retake here. Oh, no way.
Oh, they're backing off the save.
Jeez.
I don't like this. I do not like this at all. Yeah. That's my thing, right? I don't like it because of the fact that Heroic are going to get to 10. Sprout, there has to come a point where you have to try it, because if you keep saving like this, the C2 side is going to end up 14-1. And that is entirely a possibility. Like, the difference in class has just been so pronounced in this match.
Oh, without a doubt. And just looking at where they stand now, you're holding onto rifles, you're trying to make sure that you do some exit damage. But I'm with you, Jay. I'm expecting a retake in a 4v4 like that. Yeah, you got Speedy down low, you got a lack of nades, you don't have a backstab coming through from connector at all. But pick your moments. And so far, this streak is just getting so far out of control. And for Sprout, it's still a lack of tacticals in this first half.
And they've taken like 1 or 2 already. Should be 3 or 4, honestly, given how poorly this one has gone. I imagine they're saving it for the T half, but at this stage, there might not be much of one to begin with. They might already be checked out this opening best of 1. Which, I guess, fair enough, but also not, because it is Heroic, but this is also pretty poor. AWP and Lawnix, at least, are trying to fight some fight here in this connector control. Getting KD and sjuush with an instant trade, though.
The util's just excellent right now from Heroic. How great their flash assists are to get them into so many peaks. Tessa's getting quite aggressive out towards a long position, and while there was an opening man advantage, look at how quickly it's been answered back. Not even 15 seconds.
Heroic are just too good. Just far too good here. Sprout hold their line towards the B site on the 2 players that are out there. 1 man in mid, just to hope for anything to go their way. The stack is inbound. The XE is on the cards.
Even Rouse is thinking about a slight off angle, try and give himself an advantage on one of the T's getting aggressive. Even thinking there could be a wrap into the heaven position. Speedy gets caught off guard. Rouse is at least there to trade, but there's so many T's to follow up.
And the rotate from Slacks is so slow here. All swinging, Yabby, instant headshot. Accurate as anything so far in this matchup, and he hasn't been the top fragger, but he has had his moments, especially on entry towards this B site. Plant down for Stown, 11 going on the board of the T side for Sprout. There's nothing they can do to deny it. Slacks knows it in his heart, in his mind. Hold on to the weapon and just pray they don't hunt him.
Tessa's going to fall. There's some exit damage, and that's something that Sprout have at least had a positive at these last few rounds, Jay, when they've been saving. They have been getting a lot of exit kills, but you don't keep the AWP in play. They've still got a lot of money behind them, so they'll be able to invest into it. Won't be a problem there at all, and it just shows how strong the economy is for Sprout because there has been so many save attempts. And even though it's a good feeling to have Yabby getting confidence and getting quite a lot of action towards the B side, I don't think this is the best of one in which we can judge him the best, because you look at the scoreline and it's 11-1. I think we've got to see him in a best of 3, maybe against some stronger competition to really get a gauge of where he's at.
I mean, for Heroic, they're looking at that stronger competition anyway. I mean, like I mentioned before, and like I've been saying over the course of the pre-show, they're probably one of about 3 teams you expect to make it out of this this playing stage, but for definite. Seeing them here and now against Sprout, the lean in, the stare, trying to get something involved from this CT side, but only that 1 kill traded so easily. And Heroic making light work of their opening game.
I actually don't mind that, though, from Stare. You try and go very aggressive, get up close and personal, do something a little bit different. Would have been nicer to have a second player with him, or at least some util to follow. Instead, it was a bit more passive for the other 2 players towards A, rousing connector, slacks out at long. Now you start finding yourself in a position where Heroic could just run down the clock. Even that lurk smoke towards the front of the site has been allowing so much lack of information to continue. And for Sprout, you just wonder, is there a return? Maybe out towards the bathrooms.
50 seconds. Heroic have Spiddy and Lawnix to meet them here on the B site. Spiddy, Monster flashed off blinded. Slacks did catch off TeSS. Yabby with a quick responsive, and Lawnix gonna wait. Backup has arrived so quickly and rolls here, and even Slacks is on the way, but the shots continue to miss for the Orpa. 3 kills deep for him in this matchup. Does eventually find Yabby with a leg shot, looking around for even more. Needs to land another, but hesitates for a moment, and sjuush can punish it. Now left to Slacks here in a 1 versus 2. Can incendiary the bomb planter, but that gets smoked off in an instant, and Cadian now knows exactly where he is.
Even for Slacks, got to back himself, got to have the confidence to get in for this clutch. Towards the pillar position, you've got sjuush. Cadian getting quite aggressive. Slacks just dropping down.
Making noise, and sjuush swings, and Slacks will fall the same. 12-1. Heroic leaving nothing for Sprout to work with here. At least there is a gun buy. At least you mentioned the economy is still pretty strong for the CT forces, but it's getting weakened by the round. There's no strengthening it. Not even a reset opportunity against the Heroic side. So this half most certainly is a loss. And honestly, at this stage, I kind of want to argue the game is as well.
I'd say so. I mean, even for Stown, he's their best player on Overpass, and we haven't even really seen much of him. It's been a team effort for Heroic, running defaults, having excellent utility usage, and punishing so many opening man advantages. And for Sprout, you can't say they haven't had their chances, Jay. We've mentioned the rounds where they've had 5v4s, even 5v2s in certain situations, but they just haven't been able to close them. That's been the issue.
Yeah, it's just Heroic being far too good. And to Stown's defensive, you don't really need to do much when sjuush is landing nearly 20 kills in 13, 14 rounds. TeSS does get traded out, flash in, stare, and Lawnix can finally line up some decency. Overwhelm the T side here in Monster, reduce it to a 4-on-2 situation.
Just popping out a monster there for Heroic while the smoke is down, and for Sprout, they've got 2 players playing anti-flash. As soon as they hear that contact, right, swing back in, establish the 2-man unit towards Monster, and now for sjuush and Cadian, you can start having the idea that maybe they recover this again.
It's not the first time they would have done so. Maybe the last time either. Lawnix core. Oh, they've given up the 1v1s again here on the Sprout side. 2-on-2 from the 4-man advantage. Smoke's being set in as they try and stall for time.
And they could even have a hard rotate back up towards the A side, put some utility down towards B, open up that condor. That seems to be the play.
Bomb on its way back. Tried a similar strat in their previous recovery round. Slacks' AWP, however, much quicker to the scene. 20 seconds, and Cadian backs off. Ooh, there. Checking sandbags, and does win that one fight. So Cadian's AWP now to clutch it on his lonesome. 12 seconds, Tech9 swinging in as the AWP disappears behind the smoke. The bomb plant can be secured here. Slacks be slow walking into position as Cadian backs off, dives out of the way, saw him coming, and now hunts for his pick, hunts for his defensive, sees the shadow, sees the man, plays around the truck position. The shot connects towards Stare, but Slacks will get the trade instantly in at long last after a ridiculous streak from Heroic. I think it was 9 rounds in a row is what they got. will be broken by the second round of Sprouts.
That was an excellent round from Stair. Really loved that. And I think out of any of the players, Jay, he's probably been the most impressive so far from Sprout in this map of Overpass. We saw what Heroic were trying to do. 2v2, you're trying to get an over-rotate. You're trying to force that B-site player aggressive into short water. And while Stair does that, I think he was on 42 HP when that duel actually came through. He checks the sandbags, looks out towards that left-hand side. And if he didn't have that clearance, Jay, that round would have been Heroic's. That is a very good round in from Stair, really setting it up.
Wonderful stuff. Just wish we'd seen more of it over the course of this matchup, honestly. Masters set in for the last round of the half for both teams. Flashed in on the part of Speedy Stown with the kill to open up. Lorna's Corp completely blinded, dead to rights to the AK. One man left on B site. Rotations are coming in thick and fast, but Heroic might push the issue in mid.
Just a perfect example of the flash assist once again. Both of those B-site players at Monster just can't see a thing. Just on to absolute perfection around the lurk smoke, and Rouse might even get caught off by the AWP.
Stown swinging, finally gives up his life to the trade. Cadian drops the bomb in Con. And that might provide a bit of stalling time here for the CT forces. Testes has got to go back for it. Worried that Rolls might re-extend, and indeed he has. The M4 bears down upon him, and Heroic might not get away as easily in this round. A 3-on-3 situation.
Rouse has been pretty good for these multi-frags, and up against Testes, this could actually be his triple.
Black's caught the damage. Testes got more. Molotov's in to try to drive him out of the way. Didn't quite go as deep into connector as they'd like it to. Nade on, evaded by Rolls here. Tagged up only in part. Heroic. Standoff against the Sprout side. Another Molotov. I think that was also missed out by the Heroic camp. I'm not sure where it wanted it to go. Doesn't really do much there in the connector control, and now Stairs watching in from mid-bathroom, so it seems like they finally have their way in, but Yabby does get rules. Now it's all on Stair to put them out at the top of the stairs. Two players crossing, swing back, Sjuush has a knife in hand, swing out. Yabby needs to get this trade desperately, but the bomb gets dropped, and now Testes is all that remains. So Sprout will hold some decency, just enough time to get the bomb down, but the CTs will be quick to go on the retake in for Heroic. Well, not much that they can do in the last round of the half. 12-3 for them, though. Still a fantastic opening half, and it's their CT side after the break.
Alone among the stars, without forgetting who I was, or have to look back that far. And I don't want to forget who, get who. And are you just fucking around in my mind one last time? I'm gonna be real honest this time. I'm okay with it, I am more than fine. I'm gonna roll all less red dice now. Tell me I won't get out. Tell me I won't get out. Tell me I won't. Trap me inside your walls now. Tell me I won't get out. Tell me I won't get out. Crush me with all that you are now. Tell me I won't get out. So tell me I won't get out.
Stones in a helpful hand, broken bones in a bloodstained flag, open road and nomadic plans.
Sprout might have gained the last couple of rounds at the turn of that half, but Heroic still lead by a margin of 9. You come back to that veto at the very start of this matchup, Dwayne, and you start to wonder if all the opportunities that Sprout had to ban out as Overpass, was it really a good idea to play this map?
Absolutely not. 12 wins and 3 losses in this entire year so far. Strong enough that even at the legend stage of the major, Heroic picked it twice. A map that is so strong for them, the highest picked map in the entire pool from them, and Sprout just goes straight into it. I think that shows an outclassing in the first half, and we can imagine the same in the second.
I can imagine it being a 4-round half here from the Heroic side. CT side of one of their best maps in the pool. Sprout may have come into this one with a lot more confidence than was really justified, honestly. Work to be done, to say the least. Lean into long for Sprout's T-side pistol. Will try and burst their way into the bathrooms. Flashes coming out. They've got smokes that they can set up for the execution. But 3 players in total to receive them here.
Already such a good spot out from start to gather information up to the A side. Put the smoke down. He wants to try and cancel this long push.
Smokes on a suppress. He will back from the dumpster position in towards the truck control. Ahead of the Molotov. That's not burning him just yet. He will get tagged up and will take down Lawless. Tesses with headshots that need to get lined up against Slacks over one by Spitty. Sjuush with the trade back. Caden still working back in from the bathrooms. As Sjuush doubles up to drop the bomb. Spitty's left in a 1 versus 3. We'll look for Sjuush. No inkling of Cadian though. His headshot lands and the pistol is gained for Heroic with no bomb plant for Sprout.
And let's just talk about Sjuush for a little bit deeper, Jay. He is the lowest rated player for Heroic on Overpass in the last 3 months, and he's 22-7. He is absolutely farming in this best of 1. So much impact, and even seeing it continue into the pistol round. The information was gained, the counter utility was there, and the crossfire just well too strong. Sprout just being forced out to the open in that bomb site.
The end is nigh for this T-side and for this team in the opening best of 1. They're lucky that there is a second bracket. There is a lower bracket here. This double elimination system gives them 2 extra chances, 2 extra series to play. But even so, they get swamped like this in this particular matchup. Like, it's not an encouraging start for this team. We'll see whether they can do anything here in the closing stages of Overpass. No major force invest here for round 17. Deagle in for Spitty, and they'll look towards the guns the next.
Cadian just trying to establish the crossfire, get that SMG in for as many of those eco frags as possible, start getting the money built up, and the Glock burst comes through, but not quite for a kill. And we know that for Heroic, they do have a strong history this year in best of 1s. 4 wins versus Forza, Fnatic, Liquid, and G2, and only 2 losses. So it is a situation in which this is often the times that an opening matchup in a tournament, they get the sort of hit the ground running, get a lot of success from their opening games. And for Sprout, even looking at the opening rifle round, knowing that there wasn't a bomb plant in the pistol, knowing that there was hardly any success in that last one either, they're even down to a couple of Galils to get more util through.
I've got the firepower in this round though. Heroic playing a bonus buy, no weapons lost, no reinvestment found on the CT side of things. They're challenging Tesses first and foremost up towards mid. A large stack presence here in the top mid position for the CT side. Only 1 man on B. Might become a concern if they try and go for the execution right now. As Stown finds Spitty and kicks things off with a perfect flashing kill.
And even if there might only be 1 player on B, they still strike with the opening man advantage. And so much information has been gained, getting aggressive towards the end of long, seeing nothing towards T-Con and Fountain, that for Sjuush, just re-smoke down the monster position, make sure that Sprout can't act, and then bring the rotations back over. Even Tessus dealing with the likes of Stare and following up onto Lornix. Oh, this is a disaster.
5 on 2 being gained, a 2k in that connected position for the M4. Slacks and rolls at least have AKs to work with, but so many players to bring back. And we saw Heroic win 2v5s. I don't think Sprout the same tenure, especially as Sjuush pushes in. Perfect flash timing on Cadian, and even doubles up the same. 3 AKs, free control, free map point for Heroic.
And just keep in mind that when Sprout play the majority of the Tier 2 competition, Jay, we always think about hitting them hard, right? Very dry, very aggressive, up close and personal. This is a different beast. This is the team where you're just getting flashed on every single peak. The flash assists have been so far above the board for Heroic, and Sprout just can't deal with it at all.
Now they've got to deal with 12 match points the Heroic have here. Most smoke to even get out of T-Con. Rolls tagged to low HP by the utility. 2 points of health for him. The disaster start in the disaster matchup in the disaster for Sprout here. the nade to finish the job and start things off for the CTs instead.
Even Tessus holding the aggressive sight line, catching the scout. And for Sprout, there's just no tradability. Lawnix is a little bit too slow to walk out from the edge of Park to look into that party control to find a response.
Leaving them with virtually no damage done to the heroic side. Lawnix hoping for something, anything in this case. Tessus in the bathroom, crossfire, catching Stare. Does get caught by Lawnix, but Cadian with a sheer quick trade, and Spitty is left alone in the 1v4 clutch for this one. CT crossfire already set. 3 players can join the fray in this particular position. The engagement against Yabi doesn't even go past the first. 16-3, decimation from Heroic on the first match.